We had a great supplier in Zhejiang province one time that we worked with for 3 years. We transferred all this technology to them, and they got really bold and they started counterfeiting our product right down to the patent number. And so now we've got a product that is counterfeit with our patent number out in the marketplace, and all of a sudden our defects that were normally 2% per season went up to 15%. So I was having so much fun, like, we're going to get to shut this guy down. I'm working with the Chinese police. I've got the full support of the lawyers. Let's go in and get him. Like the day before we're ready to go in, they're like, let's see the contract. Oh, I let that New York lawyer tell me to put the jurisdiction in the U.S. because, of course, that lawyer wants to make money if it ever goes to court. What he didn't tell me was that a win in a U.S. court has no jurisdiction in China. There's no like extradition treaty or anything like that. So even if you were to win a court case in Australia because you're first, how are you going to get that Chinese supplier that knows you want to sue him to come to Australia, to come to your court system? It's not going to happen. So in the case that I was talking about with counterfeiting, we basically went quiet for 2 years, hired a private investigator, and waited for this Zhejiang supplier to show up at a trade show in Las Vegas. And because counterfeiting is a federal offense, the FBI put him in handcuffs. But it took us 2 years to track this guy down. If I had just put into the contract, the jurisdiction is Zhejiang province, China, it would have been an open and shut case, and we wouldn't have nearly the headaches. One exception. So my rule, I like to say, put the jurisdiction near the factory, near the supplier, but don't put it too close if you're dealing with a giant factory in a small town, because the judge might be the factory manager's cousin. That happens all the time. So with these giant state-owned enterprises where there's a village of 20,000 people and 10,000 work at the factory, in those cases, you'd want to put your jurisdiction at the nearest provincial capital, regardless of where it is in Asia. Okay, a lot of us are thinking, all right, we've got this great contract, and let's put a clause in there that if the supplier breaks the terms of the quality or lead time or intellectual property, they got to pay a heavy penalty.